Jersey Shore #1 lifeguard-themed video podcast.
Watch us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook Live. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever streaming service you prefer.
If you would like to contact us, send an email to drkachmar@icloud.com. Follow us on Instagram at lg.association.
All right, let's get started.
Let's start the show.
Let's do it.
She said they're gonna lock you up for killing me tonight. And then I bit her lip just a little bit harder. Well, I was so sure it wasn't real.
It's going pretty long. Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Michael Kachmar, and this is Lifeguards Off Duty. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today's date is March 14th, the year of our Lord 2023. Tomorrow's my birthday, guys. I'm going to be 42.
No shit.
No shit. So anyway, thank you for watching us today. We have Tyler. Tyler, you want to say hello? I think it's a little too loud here.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little. And
You sound great, Cash.
now we have a new angle here, so let me see. Sean, you should be this.
Hello.
Sean likes the close-up. You know, he's
I love the close-up.
the model of here, and then we have we have the whole crew here. So we have a new table, we have a new studio, a redo of the studio, all right? So hope everybody likes it. We made it a little bit nicer and plusher, and
Still might be making some edits, right?
yeah, we get there. You know, this is the second.
This is V2.0.
Right. The next we'll have is who knows what we're gonna do? Maybe a different room or.
Doing
Maybe a fire. We could have a fireplace.
We'll be talking from a lifeguard stand, all three of us.
Yeah. So,
I want to go with like the captain's quarters vibe. That's my
yeah. Well,
like the inside of a ship.
we're lucky.
Dead man's chest in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
We're lucky. We have very our video quality is good, and our we stream out. Everything's really in our video, so we've been pretty good. We're pretty lucky.
And we're lucky to have people
we have
listening to us, guys. Thanks for
we have
tuning in every week.
Right. We have no idea. When we started this. I mean, I didn't really have that much background in this kind of stuff. So anyway, so what you want to start it off? So it's just listen. You don't have the thing on the bottom. How come we don't have?
Oh, you're right. We don't
right.
have.
So
our,
listen, can you just throw
overlap.
out some stuff? If people want to get us, listen, we're on YouTube. Please subscribe and hit the like button. We're on.
Turn on notifications. We're on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook. Check out JerseyShoreFootandLegCenter.com. We're on Rumble. Tumbling and rumbling. Look at Cash on the video right there.
Yeah. So grab a hold of this. What's happening?
It's
gone?
We'll get to it.
All right.
got lost in the update. We
V2.0.
updated our software, yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah, we got our eCam. We just changed a lot of things around. So anyway, today I'm going to hand this off to Tyler. Tyler, you're going to start. Give us what we're talking about today.
Yeah, we're going to start off with a little bit of lifeguard news today. There was a lifeguard in California, Long Beach specifically, that there's a cool little video of him saving a dog. That's pretty much the story, but
It's cool.
It's cool.
I
And
saw it on Instagram.
yeah, honestly, the way he was paddling was really slow. But yeah, it was in Long Beach. The dog swam out around
Soft
6 p.m. on Saturday. Hold on. Did someone talk while I was talking?
Yeah. So what happened now? So I'm
Sorry.
looking here. So this was Lifeguard saves puppy. California Lifeguard.
Yeah, so a California lifeguard in Long Beach paddled out to save this cute little white dog.
What was it doing out there? How far out was it? What was he doing? It looks like it's cold out there.
The video doesn't really give a lot of context.
nor
I don't
nor do the
understand.
articles.
First of all, I don't want to say anything, but this looks like setup to me. I don't know.
You
I
think?
mean, well, the water's so calm, and I don't understand what he's doing. Well, and that's another thing too. They take out the board. He took out his board with a can. That's pretty interesting,
Catchmore's got questions.
Well, I just it's not a bad way to go to do that. But there's no background story to it.
Yeah, couldn't find the guy's name.
Water was 54 degrees. Woo!
Oh, apparently though, so a couple interesting parts.
Get rid
Water
of
was
all this
cold as
stuff.
shit,
Yeah.
and then also the dog. The owners were nowhere to be found, so it's kind of a sad story. The dog is now with animal.
Show the
services.
video again. Show the video.
Do you
again.
think that was a fire department baby or a fire baby? What do they call them?
Oh, like how they like a
Dumpster
dumpster
baby? Yeah.
like that song on Family Guy.
Why don't you put the video back on? We can't just do that.
Try and catch.
Oh, it's just spinning.
It's just spinning. Your internet's whack. But
It's
yeah,
the
so
wind. There's a lot of
V2.0.
there's a lot of electricity down.
our our little friend, the little fluffy white dog, is still homeless. So maybe it was trying to escape abusive owners. Sean, do you have any theories about
Abusive owners are trying to get rid of it.
abusive owners? Were trying. Yeah, it's a dumpster baby. So there you go
they
again.
threw it in the water to
Yeah,
die.
you guys
How can anybody do that?
Check this out again. They said, like, witnesses said that they saw it running into the water. Then they called the lifeguards. The lifeguards responded. You're right, though. There's a couple questions I have now. Like, look at this camera angle.
I know,
So
it's not. It's
they
like
roll the
this
boat
is
right
probably
up
on a-
next to him.
yeah, this is something set up to me. It doesn't look. First of all, this guy is horrible at paddleboard. I don't even think this is
That's
a
the
real
second jab
lifeguard.
at the guy
No,
now.
I mean it's just saying. First of all, usually you take a paddleboard out. You don't take a can. Okay, that's number one. Number two is this guy he's horrible. You know, I don't know what. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Why
And
not take a
wait,
can, though?
Yeah, you can, but most people
What if you
don't. You
lose the
don't need
board?
it. You don't need it. It gets in the way.
Well, they have the long strap. We don't ever do that.
You know, I guess he's got to hold the dog and paddle at the same time. Anyway, well, that's interesting. That's nice. You know what it is? We have we have on the beach dog day, right? We have dog day on our beach, and so they have a whole section of beach that they carton off. You guys all work those days, and my question is, that if people let the dogs in the water, do we have to make a dog rescue if they get in trouble? If the owner and the dog gets caught in a run, because a lot of times they were near a run, and I asked the captain, I said, you know, what are we going to do? You know, do we have to make a dog rescue?
Now we have a proper example of the necessary technique.
Every dog day, everyone's thinking about the dog rescue. That's
Yeah.
the lifeguards. We all want it.
What happened?
That's probably cool.
What happened
Probably
with
a
our-
cool notch in your belt.
What happened with our video?
Oh no. I don't know what happened with our video.
V2.0 seems to be the running.
Hang on, guys. Oh, I hit.
'Cause not only are we a video podcast.
No, we're good.
Was that
Sorry
Cash?
about that.
Cash
No,
was
we had a
just-
technical difficulty.
What did you
You know,
do?
you know what it is. I'm getting used to this. I got to get this thing out of the way here.
What version are we at, Sean?
Now we're good.
V2.0.
Yeah. So all right. So what's the next story? So you had the dog. Which that's just interesting. So what I'm saying is that we've had this situation on our beach. It sounds funny, but I'm very sure a lot of beaches now are doing it. You have this dog day, and people bring down their dogs. They're all different kinds, and they go in the water with them. And you know, sometimes the water's rough, and we tell people be careful. But I don't know. I never rescued a dog. I mean, I guess it's not gonna be that tough. But you got to go out and get the person. And then, you know, I guess we got to grab the dog. How are you going to get it? Say if it's a 50, 60-pound Labrador, usually they won't get in trouble. They should be fine, right? It's these little fluff dogs that might start drowning.
I'd say a 50, 60-pound Labrador is much more difficult to rescue than
You shouldn't have to, though.
a human
They-
double the size.
Right. But I don't think you'd have to unless the dog was sick. They will rescue you. Dogs could swim like unbelievable. I had a
I know,
Labrador.
it depends on the
I
dog.
don't imagine even the most adept water dog could swim in heavy surf.
Oh,
like
I
a
have
human.
no. So I have my lab.
Heavy surf?
Yes, I had him on the beach. I used to take him down in September. He would actually time it for the waves and then bang into him. And coming back in, he would look behind him so he didn't get friggin' douched. I saw him times where he flipped around, his feet, all four paws were going like this. He loved it. He was like, he'd attack it.
Did you teach him how to dolphin
I didn't
dive?
let him go in like a northeaster, but I can tell you those dogs are pretty tough, and it's very unlikely a dog's going to drown.
Yeah, they have so much fight in them. They want to live.
Yeah, and I think but those fluffy little dogs, you know, first of all, the water's 52
What is a
degrees.
fluffy little dog?
That,
Did you
that
name a-
white
name a
one,
breed
yeah,
that is a
that's
fluffy-
like a
Pomeranian, probably.
yeah, those things. It's 50. You know, they're not really made to be in the water. So
Yeah,
I
my
don't,
mom has
I don't think they can handle it. You know.
she has a Yorkie Chihuahua. That thing is just shark bait.
A
out there.
chorky,
A Chorky, yeah, or
a Yorkshire,
a Yawawa,
a Yorkie owl,
Yeah, those
a
things.
Yorkiewa.
a
So those
Yorkie owl.
things. So all right, well that's a good story. I like that one. And guys, it's,
We thought you would catch.
Yeah.
Little slice of life.
What,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
what was
What
that
about-
dog's? What was your dog's name?
well, I had a couple. But that was Bear.
Bear.
Yeah, and he really loved water. He was a great Labrador. I mean, he would see. We used back in the day when we used to put out the buoys we had a pier King of the Pier swim. So in the beginning of the summer, we used to put the buoys out actually, and they were what we do is we take one cinder block and put one of those small, maybe 1 foot wide long plastic buoys, and float it with a rope. And they'd stay out there. You know, we put them in I don't know maybe the end of July, August. So they'd be out there a long time. And then we would go snap the big balls on there, you know, the big red ones, and they would be taken down. So you always had something out there. So at the end of the summer, in September, I used to bring my truck on the beach, and I have the dog with me. And I used to swim out. So what you do is you swim out to one of those buoys. We didn't have any other buoys. They were our swim buoys. So I'd swim out and back, and he'd come with me. Well, I don't know where he got in his mind, but I would have him on the beach, and he'd start swimming out to that buoy by himself, shoo the damn thing, and bring it in. I'm not kidding. I'm not messing around, you know. And he used to go from one to the other, and it was pretty wild. But I'd have to keep him out of big surf. So, yeah, it's a nice story. Dogs are pretty neat.
I want a water dog so bad.
I can't think of one besides a lab off the top of my head. I can't.
Golden retrievers.
Golden retriever. There's a lot.
The bay retrievers. They're pretty cool. It's like a brown, like more wiry golden retriever.
The bird dogs, you know, they retrieve the birds. Actually, this dog, we used him for hunting too. He would go out, and you get the pheasants would go up, and he'd go after them and bring them back after you shoot them. We had another dog up in the city when I was a kid. My uncles were all hunters, and my dad, and the dog would go, you know, you'd hold him, and then he would go and return, and after you shoot the pheasant, he'd bring it back. It's a pretty beautiful thing to see, you know. I mean, it's
innate in them, some of them.
Yeah, that's what they're trained for. So what's our next?
We didn't prep for this, but there's a new ocean forming, so potentially more beach to guard. Did you hear about this?
I heard about this. I'm trying.
Well, where do you have this? I don't see this.
We don't. I just said that.
We're going off script with this one.
Okay. I'm like,
I said that before. Pretense. Was it? Where is it? Tyler, do you know? I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah. So there's like
It's all across Africa.
This actually leads into something else I wanted. We were talking to you about today, but the whole like straight down the middle of Africa is a fault line or something, or like a place where the continents meet that's like slowly splitting apart.
Have you seen the pictures, Cashmore?
And
no, that's like California. There's a lot of, I mean, but that happens all the time.
It's a giant crack in the earth, like several meters wide, that eventually in a million years is going to turn into a new ocean.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I you know, you're catching me like off guard here, but yeah, you got the tectonic plates. They were either, going away from each other. So I guess it's subtraction, and then there's one sublimation where they're diving under each other, so they're going together, and that's what causes earthquakes and volcanoes and all of that. So yeah, go ahead. What were we gonna say, Sean?
Well, just the plate that happened, like it looks like it's 50 or hundreds of miles across Africa. It was just this massive slip that just happened.
Oh, okay, it just happened. Yeah. No, I haven't seen. I haven't heard that, but
Also, I don't have literally any confirmation about this except for one post I saw from our friend at Golden State Lifeguards. He was talking about like the San Andreas Fault beginning to slip.
That thing is that's an accident waiting to happen.
Imminent.
Listen,
super over.
They've been talking about that for years. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, but it will happen eventually. And I don't know how bad. I mean, the real places that really get it bad are Japan. They got there's a lot of big populations on the faults.
That's like the edges of the Ring of Fire, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think they all press against each other. That's why, because it's happening in Japan now, or it's been. That's why they're so afraid of the California one slipping.
I was down in Tortola, which is British Virgin Islands, which is about 90 miles.
The amount of times that we've heard
No, but let me tell you though. But no, I'm telling you, I was there, and they had a big earthquake.
How far it is from things?
Okay, well, people who are listen to us don't know that. They're like, "Where's Tortola?"
To any first-time listeners that don't know what Tortola is,
I'll tell you,
pay close attention.
I got plenty of people that never heard of Tortola, not even know where it is. So it's 90 miles east of.
I never heard of it until I met you.
It's east of, right. It's east of.
It's been 10 years.
Right. So it's about 90 miles east of Puerto Rico. But I was there when they had a really bad earthquake in Haiti. And they just had another one, and it's really bad. I mean, and so Haiti is an active volcanic area. That's why a lot of people go to Dominican Republic, which is attached to Haiti. I mean, that's an active area. So you could be in one of those hotels and theoretically have an earthquake and get killed.
Sean,
they just had a big one in Turkey.
No, the one time there was one in New Jersey, I was actually in Pennsylvania on a lake.
And you were
young
in middle school, right? That the latest. Yeah, I remember that. I was gonna see if you were around for that.
Do you remember that?
It was strange. It wasn't serious enough where anything rocked, but it was just this weird. You felt off balance, but couldn't pin down what was happening. It was very strange.
Yeah, I was. I know they had one. I forget where I was at, and the ground shook. It was pretty weird. I didn't know it at the time. I just knew. So I didn't know what it was, but I don't know where part of the world I was at. But there's a place called Montserrat I've been to. It's in the Caribbean, and it's an active volcano, but it's not what do you call it, lava. It's like just a lot of smoke and that dust, ash.
It doesn't it like. It kind of blows my mind how we all just walk around every day and will fully ignore the fact that any
sitting
one
on
of
a
these
giant ball of-
million number of things can go wrong at any second and just
So think about it.
like level a city.
So think about it. We have this layer of crust, right? Layer of crust. I don't know how high, deep it is. Several miles maybe. Then what you got above you, you have this little ribbon of air, and after that it's just oblivion. And below that little crest of land or whatever, dirt, you have molten lava.
Yeah.
That'll burn you So
It's
talk about a hot.
easy to convince yourself that as an individual you're so important,
right,
but you're
right,
so
right.
it's like
Right.
this is why I love
Right.
the ocean so much, because you sit there and stare at it during a big Northeast day and you're just reminded how small and powerless you are.
You make a good point, because when I'm sailing, especially at night, and you're out there and you're a couple hundred miles from land, and you're just it's dark, and some nights are really calm, and the moon's out. It's really a great place to be, because there's nobody around you. There's nothing around you. You might be in 1,000 foot of water. You think about it. I'm sitting there going, I'm not. It's
And
that
all
deep.
that's separating you from it is this thin layer of
Plastic,
metal
yeah,
or wood
fiberglass,
or plastic
yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get necessarily scared and all that, but it's just it's really beautiful. It does give you that
It's a good relief
sense.
of just nothing like that. There's more to it than you.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's the way
yeah,
I've always
yeah.
chosen to see that. When I get caught up in forget the earth, just the size of the universe, and you're just like, it's easy to freak out and like almost lose faith in things because of how small you are. But for me, like you said, it's freeing because you can just be like, oh, I don't matter, to the point where I can just do whatever I want with my life and just seek out being happy, because at the end of the day, whether I'm happy or sad,
You're the only one that's going to remember it.
I'm the only one that's going to remember it. It doesn't make a difference to anybody but me. So
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you one perspective that you're talking about that really is interesting. Most people,
didn't expect things to get this heady today.
No, but here's the thing, though. You make a good point, though, because a lot of people, not to say most, but a lot of people, especially in our area here, they get up in the morning, they shower, they get dressed, so they're in a house. They don't know which way the wind's going. They maybe know it's raining or snowing. They get in a car, they drive in this capsule, they go to their place of business, they work all day, they come home. I mean, there's a lot of people who are never outside. They don't know if it's summer or winter, and they could care less, And you could get away from that. And I've been in the Caribbean where I'm on a boat or in the wilderness for days and days and weeks. You get disconnected. It's really when you get to a place where you know which way the wind's blowing every day. The weather impacts you. You're dealing with nature. That's a very good place to be. A lot of people are not there. I think it fulfills you and it makes you feel a lot better. That's why I think we like the ocean so much. Because you're living in an environment. You could jump in the ocean. We ride waves. You ride the boat and all of that. You're dealing with Mother Nature.
Cash, have you heard of the term called grounding?
Yes.
What is that to you?
Well, grounding. Well, the general term is that you're grounded. You're planted in a spot. You have a foundation.
So
that's what I would say.
All the wacky stuff people do now to try and feel better or live a healthier lifestyle, people now are taking off their shoes and just try to stand in nature to ground themselves.
Yeah.
You ever think about grounding?
No, I don't.
Grounding yourself?
I don't need to do that. I'm grounded already.
I'll tell you what. You say, the saying for lifeguards is, once you get the sand between your toes, you can't get off the beach.
You're pretty grounded.
I think there's something to that in conjunction with what Sean is saying.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked across a yard, like a perfect grass yard barefoot? It's the most amazing feeling ever.
Yeah, I like walking.
It's refreshing. It makes you you feel good. It makes you feel happy.
Like, so, I mean, I have, I like, I'll be on a 50-ton boat, no engines and just sailing by the wind. You know, you ride a surfboat. You know, you swim in the ocean. You know, you swim out to the buoy. You're in this ocean. You're in this environment. I remember last summer I swam out. I had to stop. There was a school of bunker. You know, it looked like a wall. I mean, you know, dealing with the dolphins. You know, nature is so beautiful. I mean, I go out in the woods. You know, we went up to Bar Harbor. You know, Maine. I've been. You know, when you go see these things, I tell you where it really is an amazing place is out west. You know, the Grand Canyon. Las Vegas,
Washington.
You know, the views where, you know, you got 50 to 100-mile views, the sky and everything. It's just the Tetons, you know, Yellowstone. I mean, that's spiritual. I mean, I'm a Christian, but you want to talk about spiritual, whatever that you guys think about that. You go out there and, you know, you're all of a sudden you've become very, very small, but also you appreciate the vastness. I remember my buddy when I first went out there. It was my brother-in-law. We drove out at night, and we were in Las Vegas. We went out of Las Vegas, and there's this huge, I don't know what you would call it, plain or, you know, valley, and the sky was just crystal clear, and there was some people camping out, and the sky was like amazing. You could see the Milky Way. You know, I mean, that to me is grounding. That to me, that gives you perspective.
When you say spiritual from the perspective of a Christian, you
beyond
look at
that,
the
beyond
stars,
that.
you look at the stars, you're feeling the earth. Are you seeing God in the stars?
I don't want to say that. I think I see. Yeah, I mean, what I feel is that there's something bigger. You know, where we belong. There's this whole universe. There's this whole thing, and it just I feel better. Like for me, I could tell you right now, I could tell you, not even a heart. I'm very happy if I'm out in the middle of the ocean in a boat sailing. Mm-hmm. To me, that's like the most amazing thing. I mean, I love being in the water. And you know why? I mean, I don't know. You know, but yeah, when I say spiritual, I can't describe it as it's just a good feeling, and you feel comfortable, and you know, I think it's the beauty. I feel bad for these kids. You know, people who are doing drugs. You know, they turn out to be killing people. You know, just a nasty, nasty life. I think. You know, some of the thing would be is to take these people and put them in the environment. That's why a lot of these, you know, state parks were made. I mean, federal parks back in the day, because a lot of people thought you take people who are in the city or don't know nature and you change them. You know, and that's one of the reasons why they made a big push for all these parks. And it does. You go to Yellowstone Park or you go camping, you know, go to the Tetons and see them. And you fly in, you see these mountains, and they're relatively new, and they're, you know, the snow. I mean, it's just absolutely inspiring, you know. It definitely puts you in a different place, you know. So, or go horseback riding, all of that stuff. So anyway, so what do you want to go? What do you want to talk about next? I see you have something here that's pretty neat.
Katie Ledecky just broke, I believe it was her own record, but she just rebroke the 1650 women's swimming record.
Wow, what was her time? Did it say there?
It for sure says somewhere. She beat it in 15 minutes and 1 second.
Wow. Say that again. How long?
15 minutes and 1 second. Katie Ledecky swam the 1650.
And what was the record? Did it say? No.
It was hers.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming it was probably off by a couple of seconds if it was her own record. Surprisingly, this video is the only one we could find in 2023, and it's probably a video her coach took in this trials that she's at.
So this is her in this lane right here.
So I used to swim. A 500. 15. You know, a 1500 is brutal.
Yeah, I was just.
That's like meters, and that's like I did a 500 yard. You know, we didn't do meters, so and that's 20 laps in a pool. This is you know, amazing.
I just swim a 1650 just for exercise, not top speed. 25 minutes, so I can't even imagine how fast she's moving.
And that's about a mile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about a swimmer's mile. I don't think it actually is. I think.
Yeah.
So it's like a South End mile on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got like in the lifeguard regionals and nationals, you got a 1500 paddle board. 1500's a nice, you know.
They actually just changed the backstroke regulations for swimming too. So,
oh, really? Interesting.
So you could always swim underwater 15 meters from kickoff. Now at the turns, you can swim another 5 meters. So a 50-meter race, you can spend half of it underwater now. So people are kind of upset about this, not upset about this, think it's cool. You move faster underwater. So times are going to start going down.
If you watch the freestyle, I mean, you know, everybody, backstroke, even breast, I mean, they're underneath the water like more than they're on top.
Yeah, they want to be.
That's just the way the sport's
You don't
going.
have to break the surface tension.
Actually, you know, you're talking about this. Somebody just introduced a bill. I don't want to get too controversial here, but you know, with guys swimming, you know, well.
Are you talking about Leah Thomas?
Yeah, men. So the big thing is that men shouldn't be swimming with women, but they describe that person as a woman, so they don't see a problem. But
Well, she describes her as a person, as a woman.
yeah,
She's definitely a person.
Yeah, definitely a person, no doubt about it. But you know, that's another issue with swimming, and it's becoming a real issue. Okay, what were you
So
gonna say?
while we're still got this video pulled up, look at these splits because that really tells the story. So if you look at here, she finished at 15:01. All these numbers 15:06, 15:06, 15:06. This is them kicking off for their last lap, and she's gaining 4 seconds every lap on these girls.
Right, but one was a team, right? So is that a bunch of people? What does that mean?
No,
team? Oh no,
I don't know
That,
what that
but
is.
her,
That's probably just an error
But
on the board.
but it's 14. So that one, that's better score there.
So her final lap was 26 seconds, 26.22 seconds. The next closest lap is 30.02 seconds.
Oh, this is probably time that's lapsed, so she's done. Okay, I see what that is. That's not the final.
So her last lap is going to be a little bit faster, but that's
I see
almost
what-
4 whole seconds in one lap.
She's flying, man.
Yeah. That's
credit-
really impressive.
They credit it to her 2-beat swim stroke, which is her swimming her left and right leg in unison.
Yeah.
Left and right leg in unison of each other, and the right and arm, left leg. Which I don't think is her thing that she came up with. I think it's the Stanford, just team.
Is that who she swims for?
She swam for Stanford. I don't think she's that old anymore. I think she's a professional.
Right. Stanford just had a big thing. They had Charlie Kirk going to go there and lecture, and they had, oh my God.
We just
Is
had
that the
Arnold.
guy from Star Trek?
No, he's a
Charlie Kirk, I
no,
think.
you know who he is. He's the conservative guy.
I don't know who that
Wow,
guy is,
look-
honestly.
You don't know who's Charlie
So
Kirk
yeah,
is?
this is
Whoa.
This is her 2-beat. Yeah.
so the
Look at
way
the
you
suits.
explained it, Sean, is she's kind of, I guess, kicking with her arms.
You can see her. It looks almost like she's lunging.
That's how they look.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how when you
And
do
like
freestyle.
Look at the person next to her. They're not doing the same thing.
As she's hitting the water with her right arm, she's doing a big kick with her left leg. It looks like.
Yeah, they train now. I mean, I swam in college, and Jackie, who is the captain of Lavalette, he trains these kids. You know, and they what they do now. I mean, they have such technique. It's all we never lifted weights. Now they lift weights. They do all kinds of training drills. I mean, it's a whole different world now.
There was a former Paralympic gold medalist doing a swim clinic at the Y that I was just observed. Like I was lifeguarding, but obviously I was listening to his coaching, and yeah, the very, very, very smallest details are taken into account. And he was really stressing to these kids that they're not going to make it to the next level by just swimming all day. They need to get in the gym and do what they call dry land, right?
Yeah, strength training.
Right.
I think Phelps could squat 315 for 20 reps. These are super athletes.
Right. They did actually they did a lot of stuff. There's a really good book in this. They took Mark Phelps, I think, and
Michael
Phelps, excuse me, and the other guy, who was the guy who won
Ryan Lochte?
No, way back in the day.
Oh, the guy with the mustache.
Yeah. And
I don't know his name.
Mark Spitz, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
And
Spitz.
what they did is they did muscle biopsies. They did all kinds of stuff. They looked at their different training. It was really an interesting. It was a documentary. Maybe it wasn't a book. I don't remember. But they have different twitch muscles as opposed to the general population. It's an interesting thing. But I know Jackie. They talk about how they, when we trained, we had a certain way you put your arm in and how you pulled and how far you pulled and all that. And I mean, it's swimming is a high level technique. I mean, it's a very and those people are really good. Getting back to the one thing I just mentioned about this thing with people. Listen, they're men, swimming against girls, and I'll make a point because I throw it out there. They were just talking about it today. I forget. I don't know if it's West Virginia. Somebody who just passed a bill. But you know what? I have no problems with anybody having, we all believe in, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness or pursuit of property. But whatever you do, your liberty means, you want to do what you want to do, and you should be able to do what you want to do. But not if it hurts other people. And that's the problem.
It's just sports.
But you're hurting, but a girl. No, it's not just a girl looking
Is
for.
she physically hurting them? Is she
Because she's taking their scholarships away, it's taking their glory away, and because they work hard at that, and their scholarships and maybe a position on a team, going to the Olympics.
Why is
money,
she taking it away?
Because he's better because right. She ain't taking nothing away. It's him.
We almost
And
got
the
it.
thing is,
you did say
no. Listen, you guys drank the Kool-Aid. A guy is a guy. No matter they cut the ding-a-ling. But my point is, it's not fair because there's a man is going to be always stronger than a woman.
But
go look at a basketball
she's
team.
on estrogen.
Doesn't matter. Still not going to make it. It's still going to be different.
Her muscle mass is reduced by
No, it's not.
nearly 100%.
No, it's not. I won't defend that.
It's not right, guys.
She is for sure a better athlete than every collegiate woman.
Yeah.
But she believes she's a woman, and this is the issue that we're dealing with
That's
in
fine.
2023.
She could go believe she wants a woman all she wants. I'm not going to argue that. It doesn't matter what I think. My point is, though, it's not fair to the other girls, and they're starting to sue. There's big lawsuits right now. Now, I think it's the governor. I forget what. I don't know if it's West Virginia. No, the attorney general. And what's happening right now is it's going back and forth. There's been injunctions and one and the other. So now it's going to go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of the United States can make the decision whether or not it's fair.
Why don't we just have a co-ed league, a co-ed NCAA?
Well, I think that's what they want. I think that's what they want.
So just
I think that's what they're looking
forgo
for.
all of this. The best of the best will go against each other.
Yeah, I
So
think
it'll be all men.
Yeah.
No,
Not necessarily.
No,
Bowling?
No. You could have another. No, what they're
That sounds bad.
no. You would have another transgender or whatever you want to call it.
No, we should have a co-ed league, an intersex league, a league with no
Right.
nothing against any diversity.
Right. But you know
So
who.
like the.
But you know who will
almost
be
like
in
the
that?
original UFC, no weight classes.
Yeah, but you know who's going to be in that? It'll be a lot of people. Why would that girl go in there? Because she'll get her ass kicked by every guy. Because she'll never, or he.
Now you're assuming why she's in that league.
She never before he turned into a woman. He was getting his ass kicked.
Okay, do you think that
top
that's
500 swimmer in
the
the
only
NCAA?
reason Leah Thomas transitioned was
No, I'm not
to be
saying
good
that.
at swimming?
No, I'm not saying that. But I tell you what, I was watching Babylon Bee, which is great, and they had a guy, Babylon Bee. This guy was he rode motorcycles, and he was a racer, raced motorcycles, and he sucked at it. He couldn't win one race. Then he said to himself, "I'm going to transition to a bicyclist," right? So now he's got his motorcycle, and he's in bicycle races, and he's beating everybody. And he's like, so now he's a bicyclist, and everybody's like, oh yeah, he's really good. So I mean, you could. That's the.
It's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny. Babylon Bee is great, man. Their satire is so on spot. But my point is that everybody. What about the right of the girls who work their ass off? I'm talking about the real girls, with a breast and a vagina, and the DNA that goes backs it, 2X chromosomes, and they work and work and work, and then this guy walks in there and beats them. That's not right. That's not right.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying
you got two opposing. Yeah, but this thing with equity. Yeah, okay. He or she has the right. So does the other people.
I gave my solution. I think we should have a co-ed league for a lot of sports. You're right. I don't think MA should be co-ed.
Or
It's going to go to the Supreme Court, and they're going to make a judgment. But but here's
one thing you could do is make it a co-ed league, but make it all like divisional based on times. But then you just have people cheating to get into the lower division so they could win.
Listen,
So
you know
you'd
what?
have
You know
to-
how
you'd
you
have to
know.
say
No,
problem.
you still want to win the best division you can.
No. You know how you end it?
Like, you know what I mean? Like qualifying times
No.
to get into this bracket, this bracket.
Yeah,
bracket.
but real athletes and real people would know that the person at the best league is the best person, which is all sports is about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
How about this? How about if you're a biological woman, you go against
I
biological.
think what's wrong with a
women's-
co-ed league? You don't like that concept?
Yeah. I mean, if they want to do it, do it. But I could just tell you right now.
Like, because Katie Ledecky could beat so many D1 men.
Yeah. But that's the D1
think?
men won't go in there. But yeah, anyway. So but this
She
girl
was like
here.
ranked, right?
Her world record's about a minute off from the male world record.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's still faster than
Oh,
most
my
men.
bad. You said Katie Ledecky would beat most D1 men, I thought we were still talking about Leah Thomas.
Oh no, Leah Thomas is top 500 for NCAA swimming.
That's still pretty good.
In men, yeah, it is.
It's
No,
still
that's a
like-
D1 athlete.
That's not many people make it to that level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not the point. The point is that you have Title IX, and you're going to have. Here's what's going to happen. It's a law. It's a law thing now. It's being challenged. It's going to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court's going to make a decision from a law standpoint. Does it infringe on people's rights, and is it what do you want to say, constitutional? And
Keep
is
going
it
back to like it needs to be that way. No, why can't there just be the co-ed league?
Here's the fun, but if you boil it down, go 30. Let's go to the wide shot, 30,000 feet above. Okay.
Wow, nice camera work.
Right. Here's
Good
the
job.
deal.
Good
Here's
show,
the deal.
sir.
The real question here. It's not whether or not. Here's the deal. Everybody on both sides will say, "Oh no, girls should swim against girls, boys should swim against boys, or men or women." What they're saying, their argument is that it's a he, that she is a she, because he says that. So what was that? So what I'm saying is that that's where the argument is. If you go ahead and have, your breast removed and your penis removed, or you take hormones, or you just decide that, hey, I'm a woman, I'm not a man anymore. Are you really?
Yeah, my co-ed league opts out
Okay.
of this, so anyone that doesn't fit traditional standards would then
Right.
be
So
allowed to be in the co-ed league.
right. My point is, though, is what do you believe?
That's
Do you?
In
That's
the
not
co-ed
the.
league.
Yeah, I believe in the co-ed league.
Okay, that's it.
what I'm
Well, that's the answer. That's a good solution. But I don't know if the transgender political side wants that. They may not go for that.
They can't go for everything, but that's a great solution.
I like that. I think Sean got a point there. But anyway,
Then why'd you just argue against it for 10 minutes?
no. I didn't say that. I'm saying that I don't think
You know
it's
what? For
practical.
if we get around to doing the new intro, this is a great angle for like a quick second shot.
Yeah. All right. What's next, guys? What do you have? What's next on the agenda here?
I like doing the show with you guys. This is fun. We got a new table. Look at this.
We're all
Look at this-
happy.
yeah. Look at this table.
What-
We'll get some more camera moves. Get these cameras off the table. Throw
What's-
some tchotchke.
Yeah, I don't know about this angle forever, but definitely for like a quick cut. In
No,
the
that's cool.
intro,
I
yeah.
like that, man.
So what's next here? You got Lifeguard, Ninja Warrior. What's this all about?
Yeah.
You got it.
Do you know what Ninja Warrior is?
Yeah, but explain to me what this whole thing is here. I'm just reading here.
This is part of my presentation, Catch. You
Oh,
gotta
so
go
you
along with it.
so you go. Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Do you know what? So let's restart. Catch. Do you know what Ninja Warrior is?
I know. I've heard of it. I don't know exactly
It's
in what
it's-
preference you're.
It's like it's like a super extreme obstacle course, where you jump and
Oh,
you
that,
swing
okay.
and you
Yeah,
climb.
yeah,
If you're curious, there is a men and women's division.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Is
So
there
go ahead.
also a co-ed division?
I don't think so yet.
There's got to be a transgender ninja by now. There has to have been.
I will find out right
Yeah,
now.
you want to do the research on that real quick? We were just Sean stumbled across a man named Andy Friedman, who's a lifeguard in Ocean City, Maryland. Correct? Yeah, Ocean City, Maryland, who is heading to LA this week to compete in American Ninja Warrior. And then we started doing a little digging and found a couple other lifeguards that also have competed in Ninja Warrior. So we thought it was kind of a cool story to share. This guy, Andy, he actually appeared previously in Ninja Warrior in 2014 during season 6. And he, in conjunction with that, he quit lifeguarding around that time. And then this summer, he restarted lifeguarding and is now competing in Ninja Warrior.
Does he
again.
do any? Is lifeguarding his summer job? Does he have anything else, or is that his main job? You don't know.
I was not able to.
No,
know
he was
that.
an engineer. I forget what.
You don't have
yeah,
you don't have any photos of him or video of him, do you?
We
by
actually
any chance?
can pull up a video of his what is it interview? His request to be on the show.
Wow. So he was out of 400 people. He is one of 400 chosen out of a pool of 70,000.
Yeah.
Ooh. And he was in it
Damn,
in
guys.
He was in it in 2014.
On an American Ninja Warrior 10,
Is that the guy right there?
No.
No.
there was Casey Rothschild, who is a passionate competitor, influencer, who is a bisexual woman
Oh, you found it. Okay, told you.
I believe is trans also. Is a transgender bisexual woman who was on American Ninja Warrior.
That's confusing.
Is
That
she
one's a-
is
that-
she
I-
is
I
she
gotta-
fluid? Is she fluid?
I
What is her
So who
pronouns?
does she like?
What is her pronouns? They,
Oh,
them,
bisexual, she
it,
likes-
them, they,
See,
them, it.
To me, bisexual
No,
is a little problematic because no.
I
Especially
want to
for
hear this
someone
one.
who's transgender.
Watch out, you don't get yourself into a hole there, Professor.
yeah.
Problematic,
Watch out.
problematic
watch
for
what
you.
you say, Ty.
You better watch out. Your girlfriend's listening to this. Is it problematic? Is it problematic for you?
Yes, it is. No, seriously. In a world where we're trying to be less exclusionary,
It's getting confusing.
for a transsexual person to identify as bisexual is exclusionary because you're indicating that there's only two types.
You give
that
me a
you
headache.
like.
You give me a headache.
Do you think the
But you're
bisexual
not
thing?
indicating which two, so therefore you're also being exclusionary towards me
All right, good.
because I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Do you think the bisexual thing just deals with genitals? Like just both sets are fine with
That's
me?
what I mean. Is it? How am I supposed to know?
Okay, find this guy,
Like
would you?
say you're this bisexual transgender, and I'm into you. I don't know.
I think it's just about genitals. Like, or we could just start calling people omnisexual.
That would be more inclusive, is what I'm saying.
Why do you have to be inclusive, by the way? Why you have this
Those
goal?
are the rules now.
No, it's not.
Those are the
Not to be
rules now.
inclusive. Why
That's
do you
a
have to
bad
be
one.
inclusive? Why?
I think.
Why? I love that. I love. No, I was just saying. Everybody.
All bullshit aside.
Yeah.
I think in a general sense,
You know, there's
really good to be inclusive.
You know. I'll tell you about all this. I had a guy from Nigeria, patient, about a month ago, and we're talking about, and I said we were talking a little bit because he watched the show.
is he from
actually.
Nigeria?
Yeah. He watched the show, and he said to me, he said something very interesting. He said, we were talking about it. He goes, oh yeah, I watched the show, and I said, yeah, we believe in equality of opportunity, equality of opportunity. He goes, exactly. He goes, that's why I came to this country, equality of opportunity. I want opportunity.
Equality, not equity.
And I said, well, what about equality of outcome? And which is equity. He goes, that's bullshit. He says, right up, he goes, it'll never happen. He goes, in my country, it's so corrupt. He goes, and you can't, the government would have to be so big to have everybody, equal like that. And this is what you have. You have equity. You have right now. You have these hires, these equity hires that are incompetent. You have basically lowering the standard to get some goal. They did this in the '60s and they did this in the '70s. It's called affirmative action. Anyway, do you have it?
He's getting it right now.
But my point is about all of this is that you're going down a dangerous road because it's getting very confusing. I mean, you have so many deaths, overdoses, so many suicides, and people are getting very confused and they're losing touch with reality. Here's the bottom line with all of this, and I really mean this. I listened to
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan
I can
Peterson,
tell.
and he if you look at all these people, he says about 90% of these people who are really doubtful about their gender, they wind up accepting their gender at about 18, 19, 20. And that about 80% of those went on to be gay. They're gay. And that is interesting to me because if those people get, on puberty blockers and get, have surgery, that's permanent. And I'm surprised the gay community doesn't come out and say, listen.
Yeah, but you're talking about this problem like it's a black and white issue that 80%, so 20%. What
Right.
does that mean?
No. Well,
Where
no.
does that- where does that-
5%, 10%. So 10% need the surgery. Let them get it.
20%.
Well, no. Well, yeah, but the other ones may be something different. Whatever
But
it is.
also, hear me
That's
out
not the
on-
point, though. The point is though that, in other words, what I'm saying is that a lot of this.
No, the point is you're talking black and white, and it's not a black and white problem.
I'm not saying black and white. I'm talking about statistics.
But think about it this way. This is a way that illustrates how even despite statistics, these kind of things are really hard to talk about and two really hard to pin down.
Yeah.
Because
I have no real opinion.
you got to look at these things kind of through a cultural lens too, where if I'm a guy that feels really feminine, right? I like dolls. I like dresses. There's not a space in our culture for me to exist in.
Sure, there is. That's been around for years. That's bullshit.
Not really.
Listen, I'm
though.
65 years old. I've
Been
seen
around
no,
how? Been
no,
around how?
no,
In
no.
jokes? In
No,
jokes
no,
in movies
no.
about
Listen, I got a good friend.
No,
Listen,
seriously though.
no.
Do
No,
you
I'm
wanna
seriously.
make-
I'm seriously.
You don't have these problems in a place like India where there is a defined third gender that people can ascribe to. and it's more
But
socially
yeah,
and
yeah.
culturally
And also
acceptable.
when they don't want their wives, they pour gasoline and burn
Well,
them to
but we're
death.
not talking about that. We're
And
talking
they
about-
have
we're talking
gang
about-
race, or they have families that
We're
will
not
kill.
but we're talking about something
But
different,
listen, but
though.
they have other problems too. My point is this.
Listen, I'm not.
So do
I'm,
we.
No. Well, let me find this. What I'm saying is that one thing that's interesting I've seen in my life, the human condition, and say, you have these trends, you have these things like mass, I don't say hysteria. You had anorexia and bulimia back in the 80s, 90s. That doesn't exist anymore. This is going to have
That still exists.
This is, yeah, but not to the level. This is going to phase out. People, I think a lot of this is more complicated, like you said, with this just transgender. And I'm fine. I want everybody to be happy, everybody to get what they need. But when you say black and white, it's not black and white. When you have a kid, when you have parents are being taken out of the mix here, and their kids making the decisions at 14, 15.
Yeah, that's
We're
a
not-
that's
we're
a
not
different part of the
saying-
No,
issue. I'm not talking about the
but when
logos.
you say about your feelings, listen, when you're 18 years old, when you're old enough, whatever, that's fine. And when you talk about, I've seen it. My friend, who's a good buddy of mine, I sail with him. I've known him for 20, 30 years. His brother, was miserable until he had sex change and all that. I don't know if he's still miserable, but in Iran, they've been doing sex changes for years because they don't, they're Muslim. They don't believe in being gay. So if you don't think you're a man, or if you think you're a woman, whatever, they'll do the sex change.
That's fine.
And I can tell you right now, in Colorado, you go back and look. 30 years ago in Colorado, there was a general surgeon. The whole town flourished over sex change. This guy was doing sex change 30 years ago. He's probably doing, I remember it was a 60 Minutes. So it's nothing new.
But what I'm
It's nothing new.
what
That's
I'm
my point.
talking about.
It's been there for years.
What I'm talking about isn't sex change. What I'm not saying that this isn't an issue.
Acceptance, yes. They used
What
to
I'm
be,
saying
they used
is
to, right, acceptance.
There's no place for me to feel. I mean, there are drag shows, shit like that, but like the people that choose drag seem to be a lot more happy than the people
there is
that
places.
choose
You know where to play
transition,
right now. You
is
could be
generally the point I'm making.
the
right?
secretary of where
You're
is?
talking about the bald person that with the
Yeah,
makeup?
what is
I don't
he?
know. Why are you bringing this guy?
No, but
up?
you say there's no place. I mean, there's plenty of places. I know people in who in the hospital or places I work. There are
Right.
all kinds of crazy things.
Are you?
It's changing.
Are you gonna argue that up
What?
until 10 years ago, in the American call it the American zeitgeist, that it wasn't like serious
the American
taboo
culture.
for me to leave my house as a full-grown male with a beard wearing a dress and heels because I just thought they were pretty?
What do you mean
wouldn't get made
taboo?
fun
I've
of.
seen
I
it. I've
wouldn't get
seen it
looked
on the
at.
beach. I've seen it I 15 years ago. I go down.
And you
there's a bunch of-
probably made fun of that
No,
person.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Or saw people
No.
make fun of that person.
Yeah, I mean,
For
but
sure.
People still make fun
And
of people.
I'm not saying that that's not like my initial reaction when I see something like that. What I'm saying though is like that's like the cultural conditioning that we all have.
Right. What I'm saying is, I think it's bad. I mean, they used to kill gay people, and they still do maybe. And in different countries, I mean, black people had it rough. I mean, they used to hang them. I mean, go on and on. We're evolving, and human nature. People don't like different.
Listen,
People.
we're about
People.
10,000 years away from being genderless gray aliens anyway.
Well, maybe
Or
we could be a
10,000
blob,
10,000 years away from using sticks and stones to try and make fire again.
right? Well, that's
No,
another
we're
thing.
a lot closer to that than we are to being gray aliens.
Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. We could go down this rabbit hole.
Well,
You got to go. We got to do on our show. What's next here? Well, can you see this guy? Did you get a picture of him?
Yeah,
Friedman.
I found his application video. Yeah, how do we end up talking about trans?
Yeah, I want to see this guy Friedman. So this guy
How did we
Friedman.
get down to
No, he
that?
just went off on a tangent. But that's
All right,
okay.
so-
Jump through the middle of this.
Everybody-
Andy
I wanna see Friedman. Can I
Andy
see him?
Friedman is a veteran lifeguard in Ocean City, Maryland, who
You got a picture of him?
just recently began working again as a lifeguard and is also a Ninja Warrior competitor. He's in his he's 45 years old.
Got a
And
picture?
like I said, like I wrote in.
Is that him there?
That's him.
He's one of 400 people chosen.
Wow.
But yeah.
What's his shirt say? Young Life?
I think so.
Young Life Tonight?
I don't know what that means. Oh, wow. Oh, he's doing so. Oh,
So yeah, this is him training.
Age
So
15.
this is shout out to the ocean rescue community. We stay the fittest.
let's see.
We
Ooh.
train like a life depends on it.
Yeah, I like how he set this all up. No special, money. He just drills some holes. I love that.
this is
So
an
people
engineer.
on Spotify, you got to watch this guy. He's at his house. He's using his deck as a workout station. Wow, that's pretty wild.
A workout.
Cash, you
Did
ever
you say
tried
he's using his desk or his deck?
his
Deck,
deck?
his deck.
Oh,
That's
okay.
his deck. His deck.
And his kids.
Yeah, look at that.
He's
That's
doing
pretty
pull-ups
great.
with his
Oh,
kids
that's
right
so
now.
cute.
I did some assisted pull-ups today.
Good for you.
About 12 of them.
That's good.
It's pretty hard to pull up 230 pounds. That's for sure.
Well, that's nice. So Ocean City. Can I tell you my Ocean City, Maryland story real quick? You want to hear it?
What do you got?
Well,
yeah, sure. We haven't stayed on topic for
no.
more
So
than 3
Ocean
minutes
City. I'm
today.
looking here. Well, listen. Good for him. Good for him. I've been in Ocean City, Maryland, by the way. And so when I was finishing my medical school, you have to go apply for residencies, right? And so you apply, you take tests, and I applied for I think it's University of Kansas, in Kansas City. No, it was Truman Medical Center. Excuse me, it was Truman Medical Center. You got to love real quick story. This has to Maryland. So I make an interview in Philadelphia. They come and see you, and they look at your credentials and everything. They ask some questions, right? About what I do, and so the guy goes, "Oh, I see," and they ask you some medical questions. And the guy goes, "I see you're a lifeguard," because you put it in your resume and everything. I go, "Yeah, I was a lifeguard in Seaside Heights. I still am actually. So he goes, "Okay, I got a question for you." It goes like this. He goes, "Say you're sitting on your bench, and you got a sandbar here, another sandbar here." And to your right, there's a run, and it's cranking out.
Is that the verbiage?
Yes, you use just like that. And he goes, "You got people on the run here, on the bar, and the water's, the wind is blowing, southeast this way. Which way would you, when you blow your whistle, which way you'd move the people?" I'm like, "Oh, move them to the left." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "Okay, thank you. That's it." And I'm like, "Can I ask you a question?" He goes, "Yeah, what?" He goes, "What, why are you asking about lifeguarding?" He goes, "Well, I was an Ocean City, Maryland lifeguard, and in my summers, now he's the director of Truman Medical Center, which was a hot ass residency. So I flew out. So no, I got picked to be one of the people, out of maybe 1,000 people, whatever it was, So I fly in, and you're going to get the residency if you're the first one who gets interviewed, right? So I was the first one. And I went in there, and they asked me like some stupid, what day follows Monday, And I'm like, Tuesday. It was that simple, and that was it. And I knew I had the residency, and I had that residency because I didn't take it though.
Rip current question. And what day is Tuesday?
Well, I don't know. When I went out there, the second question was so you couldn't get it wrong. Some easy, like what if this is an infection or something. But my point is that's the Ocean City, Maryland hookup. I didn't go there, and I tell you
why doesn't that lifeguard connection get us any job applications going?
Not yet. Well, you have to be there. I tell you what, do you ask me why I didn't go to Truman Medical Center?
Yeah, why didn't you go to Truman Medical Center?
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why.
Just Harry S. Truman?
No, I flew in there, right? And you know how when the plane slows down, you're going in, like say Philly, you see building after building. I just watched for like 20 minutes before we landed. Nothing but cornfields, right? And then I went out, went there, and the residents took us all out. There was a couple of us, and we went out, and you know what we did? They wanted to do? They wanted to go tip cows, knock cows over. That's what they do for fun, and then we met these girls, and the Midwest girls are definitely.
I've heard it's not even possible
healthy
to tip a cow.
I don't know, but the Midwest girls are healthy, if you know what I'm saying. And I could just,
they're robust.
They're robust. And I sat there, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to wind up going to my residency here, marrying one of these girls, living on a farm.
Nowhere near the ocean.
Nowhere near the ocean. I ran out of there. So that's the reason why. I was like maybe, let me see, how old was I? Maybe close to, 29, 28. I ran out of there so damn fast.
So lifeguarding got you the job, but it's also what kind of...
Yeah. I was no way, and I'm going to lifeguard. That's why I got a residency in New Jersey, near Philadelphia, JFK University Medical Center, and I could come home on weekends and work. So
we're all such fiends for this job.
But that was sand
between your toes.
Yeah. I knew I'd be on a farm right now with some Anyway, maybe it was I couldn't do it. So anyway,
quick shout out to 2 other lifeguards that have and are competing on American Ninja Warrior. We got Alex Bagoli. He made it all the way to the LA semifinals in season 13 and also competed in season 14 and placed 20th. He is a lifeguard and youth sports coach at the Mount Laurel YMCA in Jersey. So shout out to Alex. And also David
Oh,
Wright.
wow. That's in our Mount Laurel. That's in my, yeah. that's
David
what-
Wright, another lifeguard,
Wow.
competed in seasons 11, 12, and 14 and placed as high as 6th place. Now, there's only like
Wow.
4 or 5 people that have ever climbed to the top of Mount Midoriyami. So it's pretty impressive to even make it as far as he did.
Wow. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's great to hear about, I mean, I tell you, lifeguarding, I think, gives you a really overall health. If you row, you swim, you paddleboard, you run on the sand. That's why, like Ava, she's, granddaughter, she's playing basketball, and I want her to be on the beach this summer a lot because you cross train. It's a great venue. I think like I love it when we get a lot of these kids on our beach, all the wrestlers, and then they come and they get better at
Have to
swimming.
run distance and swim.
Yeah. They really. I think it helps them. I think it helps them in their.
Oh, absolutely.
When they go back to wrestling, I think it makes a big difference.
Especially when the wrestlers have to start dieting while still working, like that extra edge of just tolerating pain and
Yeah, it makes you tough.
Uncomfortable.
It makes you tough. It really does. I think it's a good thing. So what? That's great. I think that there's probably a lot of other lifeguards doing a lot of other things. I did a lot of triathlons when I was, back in the day. I did a sprint triathlon in Long Branch, and that was really interesting because you swim about 500 yards, and then you would ride the bike, I think 14 miles up to Sandy Hook and back, and then it was a 4-mile run. That's when the boardwalk was still there in Long Branch. It's gone now,
Cash, do you think you could have done this in your prime? Ninja Warrior?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty damn good, You know who, like Joe and I, like Casino. I mean, we had this guys. We had guys that we worked out in La Valette, and then they went to State Park. They were tough athletes. Some were soccer players. I mean, they were Division I swimmers.
How would you approach this event here?
what is it
I
called? The
don't know.
pebbles? The
I think the
stones?
big thing here is you're going to slide. Your feet get wet and you slide.
All right, how about this one? How would you approach this one?
Well, I'm not a pole vaulter. I mean, I would have a hard time with that. Oh man,
He just grabbed it too low.
yeah. The thing is, a lot of these people are not athletes. No, they aren't. I mean,
What?
No, they're not
That
athletes.
guy?
No. Yeah, I know. They don't look like athletes. So,
If anyone knows what the most extreme challenge is, it's like the original Ninja Warrior that we're watching
Yeah.
clips of.
yeah.
Oh, the show!
Yeah.
I used to watch this with my brother Matt.
The show's
is
incredible.
So funny. You ever see the show Wipeout? It's like an NBC show.
Yeah.
This is what they kind of like based it off
Yeah.
of. It's like Ninja Warrior, but with goofballs.
I remember we've had guys on the beach that come in and they were like, oh, who's this guy Catchmar, and so I go, all right, and they were tough guys. They would come out of whatever these programs, football, a lot of them were football players, and so I do my famous run, swim, run, and I would Al was the captain, and he would let me do the workout. I'm going to take him, and we'd run, the whole beach hard, and then swim out, come in, swim, run, swim. I'd do 3 or 4 of them, and it was guys to be thrown up in a garbage cans, So I mean, going on the beach is tough. Working out on the beach is tough. We had those wrestlers come down from Rutgers.
Oh, yeah.
And they worked out. They were like, "Whoa, man, this is tough." They did our workout, So
Yeah, you guys think you're tough?
yeah, well,
Do some sprints in the sand.
yeah, it's not that easy. So what else you got? Is that it? The puppy?
We got a quiz for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it because we're getting close to break time here.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Question number 1. This insanely common human activity can be traced back as far as 40,000 years and is incredibly valuable as a food source and economic driver for countless coastal communities. A little bit of alliteration for you at the end.
Say that again. Give me that one. Goes back 40,000 years.
This insanely common human activity can be traced back as far as 40,000 years and is incredibly valuable as a food source and economic driver for countless coastal communities.
Well, I would, first of all, I'd say hunter-gathering, so gathering. But in coastal, I would say clamming or fishing. Or, I'd say clamming probably. Or that would be, in the coastal, or fishing. But I don't know if they fished back
Ding,
then.
ding, ding, ding,
You
ding.
got it.
Fishing.
Yeah.
Many
Now,
early-
wait. Do you consider clamming fishing?
Yes.
Why
but
not?
Well, what's
No,
up?
I consider.
I knew. Well,
consider
is clamming
clamming
fishing?
a form of fishing, but I would not have qualified clamming as a correct answer.
I
because
want
that's far
the
too
judges. I
specific.
want the judges to check it.
Sean?
Sean.
I'll let it slide.
All
Sean
right.
lets it
Sean,
slide,
so
right.
so clamming is you put it in the category of fishing,
You got it.
but
So,
fishing
yes.
is not okay. So what's the next
Indeed,
one?
the
Okay.
answer is fishing. Many early cultures around the world left records of people fishing. Tomb carvings and drawings on papyrus scrolls show Egyptians fishing and preparing fish to be eaten. The ancient Egyptians used woven nets, harpoons, and hooks to catch Nile perch, catfish, and eels. Ancient Greeks and Romans wrote about fishing, and recorded images on vase paintings and mosaics. Ancient Macedonians used artificial flies to catch trout. In China, writings and painted images refer to fishing with silk line, a hook, and a bamboo rod. Early peoples in India caught fish using harpoons attached to long cords. The Mochi people of Peru painted images of fishing on their ceramic pots. And Native Americans along the Cali coast fish with hooks made from wood and bone and line tackle. Fishing rods can be traced back over 4,000 years. First made from 6-foot-long bamboo. And what was that last one? Commercial fishing using gill nets can be traced back as far as 3,000 years to the Edo period in Japan.
Right, so fishing.
Ding, ding, ding.
If you look at the Bible, especially the New Testament with Christ, a lot of the apostles were fishermen, and in the story, Matthew and John, they were doing fishing, and Christ would give them a big, they would catch a lot of fish. So fishing is big in the United States too. When you talk about fishing really made this country. If you look at New England, right? A lot of the country, when you had the Northeast was basically the United States. You had a lot of farming, Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, New Jersey. New Jersey was the Garden State. But what did you do? What did people do up in Maine, New Hampshire,
Clam?
Massachusetts? No, they fished, and one of the big things was cod. And if you look, there's statues there. That does a couple things. You don't have to be tied to the land. And it also breeds a certain kind of individual. It's very dangerous too. But the fishing industry was huge. I mean, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars over the years. And, the swordfish industry, but the cod. People don't think about it. But this was just not,
Yeah, that makes sense because there wasn't that much fishermen at this time before colonization.
Right. You didn't have to be tied to the land. And you could be pretty, fishermen could be pretty, what's the word I want to use? Outlandish and uncouth. But it was a big industry, fishing in the United
Talk like
States.
a sailor, right?
What's that?
Talk like a sailor.
Right. Well, the other thing, too, is the whaling. People don't realize, if you go really look at the whaling, we talk about these whales washing up. Whaling was a huge industry because most of your fuel for light was from whale oil.
Yeah.
It's a huge industry. And people make millions of dollars in profit, and especially up, New England. And so it's been, fishing has been a big thing. So anyway, fishing is all along, and there's a lot of, like I said, in the Bible, there's a lot of significance about fishermen and fishing. So, okay, what's the next? So I got that one right. What's the next quiz?
This 1,046-pound fish was caught off of the coast of New Jersey in 1986. It is by all accounts the largest fish of any species to have ever been caught in New Jersey. What kind of fish do you think?
Say it
is?
again. What was it?
This 1,046-pound fish was caught off the NJ coast in 1986. It is the largest fish of any species to have been caught in New Jersey. What is it?
I would say it is a great white, but I'm just trying to think. What's that?
It's a shark.
Oh, you said a fish. So that's a shark is a fish.
A shark is a fish.
A shark is a fish.
What
is
is
that
it?
your answer?
It's not a fish.
You don't get to walk this one.
No.
back. Yeah, this
Let
isn't
me just think.
clam.
1,000 pounds. Let me just think. What would be people fishing for? Because they didn't really fish for sharks back in the day.
How
they
heavy
did.
do you
They
think a
did.
great white shark is?
No, I mean it could be. I mean I'm thinking about a mako shark because they used to go, but I don't know if they got that big mako. What would be that big? Stripers. I don't think they would get that big. The only thing I could think would be a shark that gets that big. A dolphin, you're not going to catch them. A whale, maybe some kind of whale.
1,000 pounds is a very light great white, by the way.
Oh, well, so I would say they used to fish for makos. They used to call mako Jersey swordfish. So Jersey swordfish is very good. So it might have been a swordfish, but I don't think they catch that around here. But swordfish, they would call Jersey mako Jersey shortfish, and they would substitute it.
Alright.
I would say some kind of shark, but
You didn't get that one, Cash.
All right, what is it?
It's a marlin.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, 1986.
Yeah, I didn't know marlins came up this. I wouldn't even think that. That makes sense, but I didn't know marlins came up this far. That's pretty interesting.
It was caught in the Hudson Canyon, the largest submarine canyon on the U.S. Atlantic coast, and is one of the largest in the world.
It's 100 miles out. What was the question again? In New Jersey coast?
Beat me to that.
I don't know if that's New Jersey. That's but that's 1,000. It's 100 miles out.
Hudson, New York. That's about New Jersey.
No, Hudson County is 100 miles out. I fished out there. The thing is, if you go, the continental shelf ends at 200 miles, but you have these canyons that cut in. Like think about it. It's a big drop off, but you got little cracks that come in. It comes in about 100 miles.
Do you know how wide Hudson Canyon is and how deep?
No, but I know the Hudson County is a big one. How deep? I would say 1,000 foot. If I have to think, 1,200 feet. Might go deeper because once you get off the continental shelf, you're going into thousands of feet, and so this cuts in. I don't know how wide. Maybe at its widest, a couple. Maybe 4 or 5 miles. I don't know. Do you know?
You're not bad.
What's that? Am I close?
It's not terrible. 7 miles wide and 2.5 miles deep.
Oh, I didn't know it was that.
It's a lot deeper than you thought.
Yeah. We used to go out, all around out that way, and the mud hole. The place that we used to go to with my dad was called the Mud Hole, and I don't know, that wasn't that far out, but that was a great fishing spot, And you got these places like if you go off of New Jersey, just off at Barnegat Inlet, and you go out 14 miles, there's a place called Barnegat Ridge. So as you go out there, the water gets deeper and deeper, and you get when you're about 10 miles out, 11 miles out, it's about 80 foot deep, and then you hit this plateau where all of a sudden the water gets shallow, or the land comes up, and it's about 50 feet, and so it's like a kind of I don't always say plateau, and that causes a lot of fish to congregate because they have to come up, and there's an upswell, and you get a ton of fish out there, and it gives them protection, I guess, from the currents. So that's a pretty neat place.
All right, Cash. Last
So
question.
last one.
These fish can live in both fresh and salt water. They are often called rockfish or stripers because of the 7 or 8 horizontal stripes on each side of their body. What fish is this?
That's what do you call it? We call them stripers. They're
Just need another name besides stripers.
Because we gave you that one.
No, well, that's an easy one. It's not I'm trying to think what else name they call them. Rockfish. Well, I tell you what, rockfish too. That word is used for blackfish too. We used to, no. There's you catch. I catch sea bass, blackfish, and stripers. So
It's a striped bass.
right. Well, there's also
You knew it.
There's also sea bass.
Not
So I
giving
used
it
to,
to you,
I caught thousands of those.
This
things.
might be the first quiz you failed that I can remember.
No, I got that right.
Yeah,
It
I
says
don't
sea
know about
bass.
that one.
Well, sea bass. There's stripers and there's sea bass. That's not a sea bass. But go ahead.
Striped
Al
bass.
McReynolds caught this fish. He was a Atlantic City lifeguard, actually. It took him about an hour and 40 minutes. At one point,
To reel it in?
Yeah. At one point, it was the largest striped bass caught by
How
a
big?
fisherman.
How big?
It's a good question.
How much weight did it?
I think it was 70 pounds.
Yeah, the biggest one I used to catch was to be in the 40-pound range. In the spring, when there's bunker coming in, you live line the bunker and you catch big. We call them big cows, and they're huge. You need to open up your tuna door. So that's good. I wouldn't think of marlin because I didn't think a marlin would be around this area.
The fisherman actually wasn't trying to catch marlin. There was a storm that I guess dragged the marlin in.
Oh, I tell you what's another big fish that are
perfect
around
storm?
here. Yeah.
For him.
Isn't that what
But-
they were catching?
No, you know what happens? No,
Was
you
it
know what
tuna?
happens? You know what happens? I'll tell you what happens. I've seen it, and the Gulf Stream is about maybe 200 miles out. I don't know how far the Gulf Stream is. So the Gulf Stream comes up, right, from Florida. And if you go out there, the water is warm and crystal clear. So what happens once in a while, as the Gulf Stream goes from the south to the north, it forms these eddies. So it's like little round things, and they sometimes come to shore. And you got I remember Doug Parise will attest to this. He's one of our lifeguards. I went out fishing that day, and the water, it was unbelievable. I could see it was like 30 foot of water. I could see the hook going down, the fish coming around the water. I've never seen the water so clean, and it was an eddy, a warm water eddy from the Gulf Stream. The water was absolutely just ridiculously warm, and it was the next day too. We were like unbelievable. We never saw anything like it in our lives. But when I go down to Florida, you'll go out, and it's only a few miles. You could see the divide, where the water changes, and that water's so clean. So that probably happened. And what year was it?
1986.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember in the 90s, early 90s, I've seen the eddies come in, and the water's crystal clear. So that brings together with the fish. You'll see a lot of sunfish. You'll see, a lot of bluefin tuna, and even a yellowfin tuna, because they come in with the warm water and the bait. So that's pretty interesting. That's probably what happened there. So anyway, that was good. That was good.
Oh yeah.
So
version 2.0, guys.
Yeah.
2.0.1.
All right. Well, listen, that's good. I want to get out of here. It's getting late. I have to hit the road.
Yeah, I'm literally about to piss my pants.
Right. All right. So listen, there's our nice view. You want to say goodbye to everybody? Bye.
Bye.
Good job today,
Goodbye,
everybody.
everybody.
This is a group effort.
Yeah, it looks good. So
Viewers
you want
included.
So let's get a little. Anything you want to say about people should be
Follow us,
looking
like
for
us, subscribe us, share us, tell your friends,
Turn on notifications.
tell your mom, tell your grandma. We're the #1
Oh, how about
Lifeguard video podcast in the country, possibly in the world. Let's go.
email us at drkachmar@icloud.com. Please email us if you want to talk to us to get on the show. So it's drkachmar, KACHMAR @icloud.com, and give us an email. All right.
Or lifeguardsoffduty@gmail.com. Stay out. Stay alive.
Woo!